think all of the women should thank the men for funding our leagues, because most of our leagues would not exist without the men, number one. Number two, when we have the same numbers, then we should get the same pay. I'm sorry, I play volleyball at the highest level, and it's like, when we make what the men make and get the crowds that the men draw, then we should get paid the same.
Also, why is it actually a fight for equality? If women in a particular sport, for example, turned out to generate more revenue, right, because they were more watchable, and in America, the women's football team is better than the men, and they do generate, even at school level, far more interest from girls than boys, for example, I don't see why equality should be the aim. Why shouldn't they get paid more than the men?
Men are better than women at sports. Yes, let's not live in this delusion.
And in most cases, Grace, more people, men and women, want to watch men play sport.
Correct.
That's just a demonstrable fact. That may change. But my point is, if it changes, I don't see why equality should be the only ambition for the women. If it turns out that in some sport women get more viewers watching and therefore draw more revenue, I'm all for them getting more money than the men.
Can you name 5 WNBA players? 5 female soccer players?
I mean, I can't name any soccer players
That's
already.
Crazy. I wish we had the support from the feminists.
99.9% of bricklayers are men. Should we have quotas for women?
Is bricklaying representative democracy?
That has nothing to do with the question. The question is if there's evidence of structural inequality and oppression because women aren't precisely represented at 50% in all professions at all levels, then why don't we have a conversation about having women represented in all professions at all levels? Why do we talk about the C-suite, for example? Why do we talk about politics and positions of power? Why don't we talk about it across the board?
Personally, I think because you're a man, you shouldn't have any words in this situation.
Because I'm a man, I'm not affected by abortion, I shouldn't have an opinion on it?
Pretty much.
Okay, are you affected in any way by the Holocaust?
Not personally, I'm not.
Do you think the Holocaust is bad?
I do.
So you have an opinion on something that doesn't directly affect you, right?
You don't know what you're talking about. You're not educated on genetics.
Would you like to discuss the genetics or
no?
What are your genetics, sir?
So I'd stay away from the genetics and back to the brain scans.
You cut that out now, or you'll go home in an ambulance.
Yeah, that seems mildly inappropriate for a political discussion.
No, I know. Well, but wait. To be fair, but to be fair, you're actually being kind of rude. And that's not fair.
I'm sorry, it's not rude to say that someone who's biologically a male is a male.
You just
someone who's biologically male is a male.
But Mr. Shapiro, you knew very well that saying that to Zoe would be egregiously insulting.
Define woman. Go, please. One of you.
A person who their internal idea of what they are is a woman.
Terrible definition. Coming from a lesbian, that destroys the very concept of our sexual orientation. Just saying that it's an idea.
Why?
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 Because you can't be connected and sexually attracted to somebody's brain.
I want to leave with a little tribute to Megan Rapinoe, the world's most annoying sports star, who's now retired from international soccer, and she said this.
I feel like the stuff off the field is like the reason I'm, here on this planet. That feels like my life's work and something that just feels like breathing to me. So I love that work. I love being able to leverage this amazing platform and use that to, in some way make the world a better place.
Oh, shut up. Honestly.
Good for her.
You kick a round little ball around. That's it. Nobody wants to see you make the world a better place. And let me tell you what she means by this stuff off the pitch, is that now she's retired, now she says she wants to see biological males who've transitioned to be trans women play in the women's national soccer team.
Of course she would. Once she's left it, now she doesn't mind trans people, a.k.a. also known as men, to play in women's sports. I play football myself, and I play at quite a good level. And I've played against women while we play like 8-a-side. Sometimes women come to play in like our kickabout. And the difference in level between women playing and men playing is vast. And I've played against women who play in a higher level in women's league than what I would play in my league. And there's no comparison. The level is completely different between how men play and how women play. And of course, she's retired from football and now she wants trans women, or whatever you call them, to be playing in the sport, as I call them, men. How convenient of her.
While she was playing herself, so they couldn't take her place, these biological males, but now she'd be quite happy for that to happen. In fact, she wants it to happen. If that's what your contribution is to women's rights, because she's basically saying, look at me, I did all this stuff for women's rights. Actually, Miss Rapinoe, what you've done, you've left with a little sting in the tail, is that now, having fought for women's rights, for pay parity and so on, which I totally applaud you for, now you've left endorsing something that would destroy women's rights to fairness and equality. That is your legacy. Anyone got a thought?
Yeah, it's absolutely absurd to suggest, the reason that she's left at this point is because her life has become so difficult as she's tried to campaign for fairness and equality for trans women in sport. Even as she's, fought for a very, very long time to get through all of these measures that you've just said have been really, really important. We've reached the stage where the political debate about trans people has become so toxic that she feels like she has to step down in order to be a full-time campaigner.
Erling Haaland says, I'm a woman. He can play in the women's team?
The number of trans people that are going to be in this position, it's not
hang on, very important question. Grace, can Erling Haaland, if he says, I now identify as a woman, play in the Norwegian national women's team?
He massive,
he's the best striker in the world. He's 6'4". He's a massive beast. He scores goals every 10 seconds in the men's game. Are you happy?
If he suddenly decided to become trans, to go through all of the horror,
actually, you don't have to go through anything.
Just self-ID.
It's funny how she has to have qualifiers for someone like Haaland. And if people don't know Haaland, he's a top quality striker, probably one of the best in the world right now in terms of his performance. He's about 6'4", bullies men in his league. Why does he have to have this many qualifiers for him to become a woman? I thought you just believed them when they say it. Well, he doesn't have to prove to you that he's a woman if he says he's a woman.
No, you go through nothing.
He self-identifies as trans. He deals with all of the pushback on social media, the death threats, everything that he's going to get as a result of that, and then says, I want to become a woman, I want to identify as a woman. Then, the team would be able to legitimately make a decision as to whether or not that was an person.
That is the Megan Rapinoe position right there. You are our Megan Rapinoe. You've just destroyed...
You're saying that I'm an international women's soccer player?
No, I'm saying you're relatively irritating, taking a position which is always wrong.
The feeling is mutual.
And on this one, you have just endorsed Erling Haaland playing women's football, which of course would destroy women's football. Congratulations. Women's rights, nil.
I didn't...
But look,
I didn't know who Erling Haaland is. I didn't know the power to destroy women's football.
Biological sex matters, right?
Yeah.
And men, born as men, shouldn't be playing women's sport. But Rapinoe, free speech. What's wrong with that?
She's allowed to be.
And by the way, nothing wrong with me exercising my right to free speech to say it's complete, a bit like Grace's position on Erling Haaland, who she only just heard of, complete claptrap.
A man can apparently destroy women's football at the touch of a hat. It's crazy.
It would. But thank you, Pat.
If you know Haaland, he would rip the women's league apart, just as he is with the men's league. So, but anyway, that was another video, another reaction. As I usually say, if you guys enjoyed the video, like the video as much as possible, comment down below, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at YinkaThatGuy, and I am out.